Hello, welcome. Welcome to Cooking on a Friday night. Glad you could join us. We're going to try something tonight, and I have a special chef here with us, and she has graciously offered her time, and I'm so grateful. And so I'm going to bring her on camera. We're also trying this new program to try to do this. So there's Julie. Hello, Julie.
Hi.
Good to see you. So good to have you here, Julie. Thank you for joining us tonight and showing us some tasty treats for us to prepare as well. But before we get started, Julie, I have to do something that I actually promised people I would do, which is yodeling. And so I'm just gonna give it a go, and I even brought my guitar. So here's the at 6:30. No, literally at 6:30 today, I was like, oh, I'm gonna rest a little because I'm tired, and I lied down and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to yodel tonight. So I got up and I looked up this website on yodeling. So like I was like, how do you yodel? And I was listening to all that stuff. So funny thing is they said, here's what you do, some tips. Never give up. And then they said, practice by yourself. So
both excellent.
So I'm not, but here I am on live practicing. Okay, so here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is hilarious.
I should have worn my journal. If we were going to be yodeling, I should have worn it.
Oh my gosh. And I actually learned a song because I wanted to do this. And it's by Hank Williams. She's alone, gone, and now I'm lonesome blue. All right, so there you all go. Yes. Here is a official comment. Just stop, please. Yes, from my wife. Okay, so I am stopping, and I'm going to turn it over to Julie. It is great to have you here, and I'm going to let you just take it away and even get out of this screen so you can just show us what you're doing tonight.
Hi. So I am Julie Churton, and I'm a member at Aldersgate with my two daughters, Hannah and Cece, who are 9 and 6. And my husband, Scott, he grew up at Aldersgate, so he's a longtime member, and his mom and his sister are both members there too, and we love our Aldersgate family. So today I'm going to be making, since grazing boards are hugely popular right now, I'm going to be making an Italian version of the grazing board, which we call antipasto, which means before pasta. It's the appetizer before pasta. My family usually ate this appetizer almost like a late lunch. It's almost like a sandwich tray, like a deli tray. It's what they would all do is make sandwiches. Like the best part about antipasto is the good bread that you serve with it. So to begin with, I'm going to talk about the ingredients that we get. I only use Genoa salami on this, which I buy at Claro's Italian Market. We in Tustin are super lucky that we have an amazing Italian market in town. Claro's, I think it's on Main, maybe Bryan. It's over there where those two kind of intersect.
Right off of Newport, is that right?
Deli. Pardon?
Right off of Newport, Julie?
Yes, it's right off of Newport, and like it's either Maine or Bryan. I always get confused right there, but it's a small little grocery store. It's near Koki's Teppanyaki and Tommy's Sushi. Everybody knows that. But anyways, I emphasize when you buy your meats and cheeses for this one that you buy them from a deli. An Italian deli is even better. You can control the thickness of the slices, and if you've ever talked to any member of my family, you know the thinner the better. The thinner the salami, the better. So we have right here, I have about a pound of salami, which is enough for probably like, I don't know, a 10 to 15 person antipasto. I'm not going to use it all just because I'm just making this as a demo. But you just ask them. They'll probably already know at Claro's anyways, but you just ask them, slice it paper thin. You want to be able to see through it. So I'm going to hold up a slice and show you how beautifully thin.
That is beautiful, Julie. That is beautiful.
Like big hunks of peppercorn in there.
Wow.
So the first step is to round up your ingredients, which is, let me go over the ingredients. Genoa salami.
Yes.
Quartered provolone that you have sliced by the butcher. I also at Claro's buy their marinated mushrooms. They marinate them and age them there. They are amazing. But you can also buy those in the grocery store with where you would find these kinds of things, jarred, kind of pickled things. So here I have pepperoncinis. Gotta have those.
Right.
And the juice of the pepperoncinis is kind of a secret ingredient, so don't drain them. I have red bell peppers. These are all from Mazzetta, which is a really good company for this kind of product. But they do a bunch of things. We also have the big Spanish olives with pimentos inside.
Nice.
These are quartered and marinated artichoke hearts. And we'll also, don't drain this one because we save this juice. It's really good. And then what else do we have?
Can I ask what you save the juice for?
Pardon?
What do we save the juice for?
Oh, I'll tell you in a minute. So antipasto has a dressing that goes over the top that you you add to it, but you also just kind of take the juice that was in the I don't know what to call these, but take the juice that's in these jars and make it into a dressing. I also have some fresh mozzarella. I have some sliced fontina, which is a really, it's a more softer cheese. And actually, I think I must usually buy aged fontina because this is a lot softer and a lot like sweeter in taste. It's really good though. And then you'll need a couple of tomatoes, a couple of lemons. I think we may used to have put celery on it, but I don't do that anymore because nobody ever eats it. You just throw it away. Costco, they're fun. It's prosciutto and provolone mixed together. They're rolled up into these nice little spears. A good tip for any grazing board is that size and shape matters. So you don't want to cut everything the same way. You don't want everything to look just like slapped on the board. You want to take a little bit of care into how you cut things and think about how it's going to look when you put it on the finished tray. So first things first, we're going to start.
Oh, I'm sorry, Julie, can you, we'll go ahead and after this is over, you can just in the comments list everything, all the items, so people aren't trying to write everything down. And everybody listening in, if you have a question, feel free to just post it and I'll relay the questions to Julie as she's going ahead. All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Julie. Thank you.
No. Okay. So I've already started a little bit of the salami here, and all you really do is layer it into a nice base. This is everybody's favorite part. So, and it's the only meat product on here. Oh, I guess I do have the prosciutto, but this is like the base. This is what everybody wants. Everybody fights over this. When you're making it in the kitchen, while everyone's supposed to be staying out of the kitchen, they're trying to sneak pieces. And there's nothing you can do to stop them because it is so delicious.
I'm really amazed how thin that thing is.
It makes a difference. I know it seems silly, but it really makes a difference that it's sliced thin. And that it really doesn't matter how high you stack it up. If it's sliced thin, it's always easier to bite through. So there you go. That's about, I would say that's probably like 2 salamis, of 2 layers of salami. I'd say that's good for now. Oh, and one thing I should mention about the tray that you make this on. A lot of times grazing boards are made on just like regular cutting boards or butcher blocks. They don't have a lip. They don't have a side. And for this particular version of a grazing board, for antipasto, you want one with a side because you're gonna pour a dressing over it. And if it's on a cutting board, it will run everywhere. And it's oily and it's fragrant, and you don't want that. So definitely make sure you choose a tray that has sides that come up a little bit on the side.
All right, we have a question. Do you deliver? It's
also sliced very thin. I feel like this one, it's a little bit less important about the thinness of it, but saying that, of course, Claros did an amazing job at slicing it super thin. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, and it smells super good. It smells great. It's really fragrant. So if this is your first time working with provolone, fresh Italian provolone, and not the kind that comes already sliced in the deli and like over in the grocery store, it will knock you over a little bit. But it's delicious. It is delicious. So I'm layering this on top of the salami, and I'm leaving about an inch border, so just so you can see the salami peeking out, so people know it's there. So we're gonna do 2 layers of that.
Do you deliver? Somebody asked, and Cheryl Hartley would like to know if you deliver. So.
I mean, well, part of the reason we're doing the class is you can make this yourself. It's super easy. It's not hard. Maybe gathering all the ingredients is a little bit. But. All right, so I did about 2 layers worth of provolone on there too. So that's your base. That's what everything is going to sort of sit on. And now you get to start just mounding up the yummy roasted vegetables and fresh vegetables. These are roasted red bell peppers. This is my favorite part. Well, one of my favorite parts. And you can roast these yourself at home. You can do it over an open flame. You just take a raw, whole bell pepper, don't cut it, and you just put it, if you have a gas flame, you just turn that on and you just set it on top of there and babysit it a little, rotate it. You could also put it on the barbecue. And then you put, once it's charred all the way on the outside, blackened all the way on the outside, you put it into a container with a lid. I usually put mine in like a Ziploc bag and zip it up, and it'll get all steamy inside. And then in like 5 minutes, you can use like a towel or just your hands and just peel that black charred skin off. And you get this nice, lightly, you know, it's cooked a little, but it's still a little crunchy too. Oh my gosh, it's super good. So that's one way. But I really like it from the jar. I feel like it's got a little bit more flavor. It sat in the yummy like pepper juice for however long. So I'm just slicing these in strips, little strips. And then I'm just gonna kind of place those around evenly. You don't want there to be like a hunk, a big blob of them somewhere and none on the other side. So that's the peppers. Nice. And then we're going to do the artichokes. So remember I said, so the peppers I drain. You don't need to save this juice. It's really just water. This is for the artichokes, the marinated artichokes, and this we're gonna save. This is oil and vinegar and all kinds of yummy spices. And so we're gonna save that. You won't need it all, but I'm just gonna pour it all into this bowl so that I can get to the artichokes and I'll save what I need. But this, again, you just sort of dot around. Some people, like, if you don't like your food to touch, you're not going to like this because it all muddles together. And you know how some people don't like it when their food touch? Some meals I let that too. But for this one, everything has to touch because that's why it's so good.
Awesome.
All right. So then we've got the marinated mushrooms. And I know I said the bell peppers are my favorite, but I was wrong. These are. They're so good. They're so flavorful. Like I said, you can buy these in a jar at the grocery store. They're usually on the top shelf with all these, artichokes and peppers. But at Claro's, they have homemade marinated mushrooms, and they're so good. They're the best ones I've ever had.
Food will make you grunt like that, dude.
Pardon?
Food makes us grunt like you just did. They're so good.
They're so good. They really are. Okay, so now what's next? There's really, once you have the base down, this can be done in any order. So I'm going to go ahead and put down a few of my green olives and a few black olives. I'm not sure how Italian, they are. I know just plain black olives are kind of, out of style right now. But everybody loves black olives. My kids love black olives, and this is usually the thing that gets plucked off the top and they're gone all of a sudden. Like, where'd all the olives? And they add really pretty color. So just kind of do that. And then I'm going to put some of the mozzarella. So this is just sliced fresh mozzarella that you can buy in a log. This one happens to be from Costco, but a lot of times they're floating in water and they're just a soft, mild cheese. It's probably my favorite cheese. So I just cut those round in half into like half moon shape. And then you just go ahead and place these on top. I also have some tomato sliced. So I'm going to alternate a little bit of tomato and cheese. You can put the cheese actually right on top of the tomato. That looks nice. Kind of makes it stand out.
Oh, that's nice.
And what else do we have to put on here? This is another thing. A lot of times you have so many things that go on the antipasto that you can forget things, and or you put too much on. Like right now we're getting nice and full here, so I might have to spread things around, but it's easy because this is kind of a rustic style cheese board and not like a composed, beautiful, more French style cheese board. Total room for error. Oh yeah, so let's put some of this fontina on. I'm gonna go ahead and put those around the edges. I also, one thing to consider when you're cutting the cheese, you want the cheese to be you want everything to be about a mouthful. So actually, now that I'm looking at these, this is a big piece of cheese, and I personally feel like when you cut something, it should be if it's gonna be if you're gonna eat it in a big group, if it's on a big communal tray, when you take stuff, you want to be able to just pop it in your mouth. Usually you eat this standing up. You don't really have a table to cut because it's more of an appetizer style thing. So you want to make sure that everything is mouth sized, not too big a bite. So then, this is a weird ingredient, but it has to go on there. This is a peeled lemon that I just used a knife to take the skin off of, and all of the pith, which is the white part. And then you're just gonna cut pinwheels of, just cut circles of this lemon. And it also goes on there. I always, as a kid, would be like, why do you guys put lemon on there? I don't get it, but nobody can really answer my question because you don't really eat it. The juice just sort of mingles there with all the other flavors, and you can also squeeze some of that lemon juice over there. And it's just part of it. I don't know. Maybe it represents bounty or harvest or something. But yep, lemons go on there. And then let's see, what else? Oh, can't forget these guys. I usually put them in the middle.
pepperoncinis.
And like I said, don't toss the juice for the pepperoncinis because they are, we use some of the juice in the dressing that we're going to pour over the top. So, another way you could also serve this, and I have totally done this before, is use all these same ingredients, but chop them all up really small and just make a salad. If you don't do bread, that would be my recommendation. Chop it all up, make a big, yummy chopped salad, and just everything that went on here can go in there. It's a good option if you don't eat bread. You can also, I've also done the same thing, but with pasta, which isn't gluten-free. But if you were making like a pasta salad, you can make an antipasto salad, which is antipasto pasta salad, which would be all the same ingredients, just chopped up smaller and tossed in with pasta or lettuce. But okay, so I think I have pretty much everything. I'm not going to put these on today just because I don't want to open them. But these I would probably slice on a bias, and never mind. Let's put them on. They're pretty, and they're going to add, like they just add something else to it. So these I'm going to cut on a bias because they're pinwheeled on the inside, so they look really, really nice. Cut on a very graduated bias. And then you can just, oh yeah, that looks nice. So this would be good with Halloween coming up. If you're having a couple of friends over, this is great for just setting out, kind of ignoring it like you've made it earlier in the day. You can set it out and people just come and go and take what they like, leave what they don't. And it's nice. It's sort of it's hearty, but it's also refreshing at the same time.
We have some hecklers.
Really quick, and I just realized I forgot my vinegar. But so in here I have the oil and the juice from the artichokes, and then I'm gonna just put a splash of the pepperoncini juice. It's spicy, it's sour, it's yummy, and then I'm also going to get some red wine vinegar. Add a little bit of that, and then just a little bit more olive oil because there wasn't enough from the artichokes. You'll want to taste this. Make sure it shouldn't need any seasoning just because it's already the marinade, but the marinade is already usually pretty aggressively seasoned. But shoot.
So Julie, do you ever put any?
I don't want to stick my finger in my mouth, so I'm just going to taste this, see what it's like. Oh yeah, no. So that definitely needs more vinegar and salt. So I'm just going to add probably like a half a teaspoon of salt. So not too much. And then you're going to pour this on top. Right before, so sorry, if you're going to make this ahead of time, you're going to hold off on the dressing until it's time to serve it. Then when it's time to serve, you can go ahead and pour the dressing over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's basically it. I mean, that didn't take much time at all. Wow. This will serve, like, no problem. This will serve, this small little platter will serve at least 6 adults.
That looks beautiful. Yeah.
I really like this.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So how would people eat that then? So then it's sitting there.
So maybe I should do that too. Where is that little? So let me get some forks. Usually it's out with a salad fork, or some tongs would also work as well. And how you would serve it is with bread. You know what? Let me tidy up just a tiny bit because it's a mess.
You have a request here for a knife skills
Knife skills,
class.
absolutely. I know. I picked something that didn't have a whole lot of cutting or chopping, but maybe on the next one we'll do that.
Yeah.
I had some ideas for what we're gonna do on the next class, but maybe I should switch lanes and do more of like knife skills and cutting. But yeah, I will. I mean, I can do it right now, actually. So the way, you know what? I can do this lemon right here. So, you know, I just had a peeled lemon, but this is called. So, can you see what I'm doing?
Yes. We can see.
You just, in a downward. Oh man, this knife is not very sharp. You're gonna want a really sharp knife, which I do not have right here. But you're gonna just following the curvature of the lemon, you're just going to remove the skin, and you'll get some of the flesh of the fruit, which is fine. It's better to get a little bit of the fruit than leave some of the white because it's gross and bitter and ruins it. And unfortunately, these lemons are full of seeds, which will make my rounds ugly. But actually, why don't I just show you this other skill? So this is a skill, we probably learned it on like the first day of culinary school, which is supremes, which you can do to any citrus fruit. This happens to be a lemon, but you could do it with oranges, tangerines, grapefruits, limes, anything. And what it is you peel off the skin, and then you know how when you eat an orange, it comes in segments, and they're like surrounded by this membrane. Well, you're going to just cut the fruit right out from in between those membranes, and you get this lovely little, they call it a supreme because it's just like the best part of the fruit. There's nothing chewy, there's nothing bitter. It's just the delicious fruit. So this is another technique that you could use. This actually is better for this particular lemon just because it was kind of a not so great lemon. It had a bunch of seeds and it's actually a little dried out. So maybe we're late into the citrus season, but that gets you these little darling supremes, and you can also put those on here too. Why not? And actually these might be better because they break up, you get smaller bites. Like, who wants to bite into a whole wheel of lemon like this? Like, no. So I like this better. So there's a little quick knife skill, but I will do more next time, I promise. I'll do small dice, julienne, baton, all the fancy cuts. But, and then last thing, I totally forgot. To make it pretty and always add a little bit of freshness, and because we have those tomatoes and mozzarella on there, we're going to put a little bit of basil. We'll put it right in the middle. Nice. You can also chiffonade this and sprinkle it all over too if you wanted to, but that's that. Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, so again, I was going to show you how to eat it. So you serve it with bread. I bought some bread at Cream Pan today and sliced it already. Cream Pan has amazing French baguettes. But other places that I buy my bread, sometimes I buy them at THH, which is the Vietnamese sandwich shop down on Newport. They have amazing baguettes. They're 99 cents. They're so good. I recommend them highly. But so this was just a French baguette from Cream Pan. These are the French style baguettes are a lot chewier. And you'll really want a chewy type of bread. You want to buy good quality bread, because if you buy kind of a cheaper, more like flimsy bread, it falls apart, and you really need it to be hearty because of the dressing. Like all that yummy, yummy juice that you just poured onto this is the good part. So I have a large fork and knife, and what I usually do is I slip the fork underneath, kind of like a spatula, and then you just
nice.
Take a pinch. The first person to go always has the hardest time, And it's okay if you rip. You don't have to get perfect round pieces of salami. That doesn't make a difference. So then you just take a little, place it onto your plate, get all the things that you like, leave the things you don't. I don't like that much. And then you can eat your hands, you can eat it with a fork, you can make a sandwich. So most of the time you got your tomato, you got your cheese, you got your meat, you got your veggies. This might be a ridiculously huge bite, but and then you can just eat it open-faced or make a little sandwich from it and enjoy.
So you can eat it separately or make a sandwich or anything like that?
Absolutely make it separately. Like when I was a kid, I never wanted my food to touch. And so, or at least I didn't like it when it all was like mixed together like this. So I would get a plate of it and I would eat all the salami first. And then I'd eat all the cheese first. And then I'd leave the pepper cheese for my
All right.
Yeah, so I think that's it. I mean, that was really quick and easy, but you know, those are the best dishes.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie. I just put myself back in the screen. Really appreciate you doing this. You know, as you prepare the antipasta and, you know, just thinking about any like life connections, because I know food and life are just so connected, you know, at least for me, in so deep ways.
My life often revolves around food, especially when we're all together. Like I come from a really, I don't know if I said this, but I come from a really large Italian family. My dad was one of 10. He's the second oldest of 10 kids. And so I have 30 plus first cousins. And
wow.
So when we all are together, there's spouses and babies and there's a lot of people. So this is something that really reminds me, like antipasto and family just go together for me. I'm sure that's not the case for everybody, but for me personally, that's kind of why I chose this. Every family gathering we have, we eat this. If we are together, if there's more than say 4 families, we eat this. Like I said, it's easy, it's good, everyone enjoys it. It's actually really easy to save. It doesn't look nice when you put it into a Tupperware container, but it is good saved. Sorry, I'm getting off track. But so food and family just, they go hand in hand. Food is like the kitchen is the center of the home, and that's where we all gather to help make this. Usually many hands go into making this. It's, you know, brothers.
So it's a community experience. You know,
it is. It's a community experience. And, you know, like there is a specific, though it seems pretty like tossed together and kind of a mess, it's not. It's not. There's a method to making this, and the process is important. So like passing that on to the next generation is fun. Like you don't really realize that it's happening until you're grown. Like I didn't realize that when I was in the kitchen begging to have some of this and them saying like, no, it's not ready yet, but go grab me the provolone out of the fridge. Like that's, you know, that was them teaching me like how to do this. And it's just a little bit of our family history. And so it's nice and it's familiar, and it's always nice to be reminded of those people and those times when you're all together. And
absolutely,
you know, there's nothing like sharing a meal together.
Absolutely, and I hope when we get back together, we can enjoy that as a church family together as well.
Absolutely, I loved. Oh my gosh, cooking on Wednesday nights was fun for me. I really enjoyed that.
That's great.
That over the summer.
Yeah, so our next potluck, when we have one, if you can bring one, that would be awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, and I do want to say, if you'd like to try this, when we finish this video, in the comments, you can post your pictures. So it'd be kind of fun to see everybody's attempt at this. And I think all of us can give it a go and enjoy it. And next month, can you tell us what you're planning to cook next month?
Yeah, so next month the plan is to make my grandma Muscarella's cream puffs. She actually won a contest making them when she was a young woman, and
Wow.
everybody, like, this is everybody in my family's favorite food. And I actually went to an Elizabeth Circle meeting several months ago at this point last year, and I talked to them about cooking and how much I enjoy it and how it really like feeds my soul just to feed people and make them feel well cared for. And so that was sort of the topic of that meeting. And they were doing these meetings because they were making Cooking with Friends. So this is Aldersgate's cookbook, and on page 111, it's the very last recipe in the dessert section. It's Grandma Muscarella's cream puffs. And it's actually 3 recipes in one because you have to make the puffs, which is a pot de choux batter, which we'll make together. And then there's the pudding, which is actually Jell-O instant pudding. It's not instant pudding though. It's Jell-O pudding is the base, but it's the cook and serve, and you add some extra stuff to make it taste richer and more delicious. And then the frosting. So that'll be a fun sort of 3-step process. And there's some pot de choux is a pretty technical dough. It's not hard to make, but it can be intimidating when you're just reading the recipe. So it's a lot easier to make when you've seen somebody else do it, or when you've been taught how to do it firsthand. So I thought that would be a really good one to do on here. And I promise to throw in some knife skills. It won't have anything to do with the cream puffs, but I will have out carrots and celery, and I can show you some awesome tricks on how to get like really perfect dice and julienne, chiffonade, and all the fancy French words to make.
Excellent. So if people want to go ahead and give the cream puffs a try before your thing next month, it's always fun to try it and then see you do it. So maybe we can even give that a go. It's in the cookbook, the church's recent cookbook. And so, yeah.
So
nice.
If you don't have one, you can always look into it or ask a friend to take a picture of it. But yeah, they're in there. And there's also a bunch of really good recipes in here. So I suggest buying it. But
Excellent. Well, thank you, Julie. Julie will be with us next month, same week of the month. And so thank you for joining us today. Let's really thank Julie. Thank you very much. I know that everybody's really appreciative of your time. We're all wondering what you're going to do with that board now. But I hope you enjoy it, and hope everybody's enjoyed it. Next week, actually, we're going to do a little live event for golf. So any golfers, let them know. We have a church member just like Julie, who's a chef, a wonderful church member. We also have a church member that's a golf pro, Mike Fergan. And so he's going to show us some tips about golf. So next Friday, same time, if you want to learn a little bit about golf, we'll have that here as well. All right, Julie, any final words? You want to just say bye?
I'll just say bye. I had a really fun time.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend. Go Dodgers.